But first, a check on Nottinghamshire's roads on Halloween with the scary Liz Saul.
Thank you very much, Andy. It's not looking too bad, actually, so far this morning. It's a little bit busy on the M1, particularly around the Mansfield turns, 29 and 28. Into Mansfield, main route's looking OK, A38 and the A617. Into Nottingham is not too bad as yet. Expect the A610 to start building in the next 10-15 minutes around Nuttall Island from junction 26 of the motorway. I'm Liz Saul, and your next travel is just after the news at 7.
I thought you'd have a go back, and you just took it, didn't you?
Yeah, you know, it washes over me.
Does it?
It's Halloween, so it's not about what I say back, it's what might happen to you later.
Oh, OK. She's going to come round and egg my house, isn't she?
BBC Radio Nottingham.
Either that or she's casting spells at this very moment.
Ah, bonjour, Liz.
Bonjour, Monsieur Marc. Ça va?
I quite like that. So then, last September with your mum in France, what happened?
Well, we were driving around. We just went on a bit of a road trip and everything. I negotiated the Arc de Triomphe roundabout. That's very scary.
Very good.
But I did have a bit of an argument in French with a coach driver by our hotel.
In French?
In French.
Did you say zut alors?
A little bit.
Did you say something worse than that?
I did, actually.
I bet I can guess what it was. That's terrible.
But I was in the right. The hotel had told me to park in a certain place, and this coach driver said that if I parked there, he would crash into my car with his coach. This is all in French, because he couldn't get out properly, and he was just a terrible driver, really.
Well, next time, Liz, just tell them who you are. You're the UK's best travel presenter.
Bless you.
Right,
I should do, shouldn't I?
More at bbc.co.uk/Nottingham.
Penkhull has been getting a spring clean today. People have been clearing up wasteland, litter bins have been installed, and people living in the area have been getting rid of their bulky rubbish. BBC Radio Stoke's Liz Saul went to find out how they got on.
It's surprisingly peaceful. Not what you'd expect from an industrial city. There's a village green and a church, a couple of pubs and the village hall, a real community.
Just village life, everybody knows everybody, everybody's friendly, fair. It's the sort of place people move to temporarily and stay here more often than not, so we're just proud of the place and we get on with it. Together.
Vaughan Tisley was born in Penkhull and works in the Greyhound Inn. Today the peace has been somewhat shattered, but all for a good reason. I've come down here and met community groups, councillors and local police. They've all come together for Respect Day. 20 skips have been put out around the village where people can put their bulky rubbish. There's giant bin bags, old chairs, old bits of wood, furniture, and they're not having to pay for the service for a change either. Bill James, Respect Programme Leader at the City Council, says the skips filled up very quickly.
Today is an opportunity for the residents to take some pride in the area within Stoke-on-Trent, to have some respect for the area that they live in. And as I say, just by judging by the number of skips that have been filled and the way that they've been filled, is testament to how they have bought into the day, and that's really encouraging.
By lunchtime, many of the skips were full. I caught up with Randolph Conte, Penkhull councillor, who told me dozens of people got involved.
We have a very, very active resident association, and obviously they have lots of volunteers working on various projects. The reality is there's lots of people who are very, very involved in the Penkhull community.
But it's not the first time there's been a big clean-up around here. Charles Pantin, chair of the Penkhull Residents Association, told me it's an ongoing thing.
We need to continue as a residents association to get them involved in other things, and that's why I told you about the blitz we'd had on the village hall last week, to show that this is not just one event, it's part of a sequence of events that we continue to do and will continue to do.
Well, I know you mentioned that obviously it depends on finances, but is it something that you can perhaps coordinate to encourage the community to do regular clean-ups, maybe on a volunteer basis, to encourage community spirit, perhaps?
Well, certainly those that we do clear-ups of certain areas have been done over the years, and we will continue to do them. If an area looks bad, we'll ask for volunteers just to clean that specific area up.
Well, the end of a busy day. I think it deserves a pint. Back into the pub then, Vaughan.
I know you don't have a shed, but you have a garage which is full of junk.
Yes, sorry.
What's in it?
There's an office chair, but it's a really funky office chair. It's got wheels and stuff.
Not funky enough to be in an office, though.
Okay, no,
okay.
actually. So, and I've got a sideboard, great wooden thing,
Yeah.
It doesn't fit in the house, but it fits in the garage.
Right.
And I've got some shelves, but everyone has shelves in the shed or garage, don't they?
Yeah, I would have thought so. It would be a sensible thing to do, wouldn't it?
And cardboard boxes in the shelves.
Right.
And probably some garden furniture as well.
Just loads of things that you don't want in the house. Have you ever thought of converting the garage? Because it sounds like you've got a ready-made office in there.
I've got 2 televisions in there as well.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Do you want to come round? You can just...
I can come round to your house and watch the TV in your garage.
Yeah.
Do you know that's the best offer I've had all day? Thank you, Liz. So, Liz, why is your Good Friday particularly good?
Well, although, like you, I'm here at work, it's not quite so busy. It's nice and calm and peaceful, so that's always nice. It means you have a bit of time to breathe instead of running around like a headless chicken. And of course, the main reason that my Friday is so good is because you're here.
Oh. Yeah. Thanks for that. See, we don't get together so often after that court order, do we?
Well, you know, I just felt it was something I had to do, but I think you've calmed down now.
I've mellowed with age.
Of course.
Have you become more sexy since you became a Liz, or were you ever an Elizabeth?
I'm only ever Elizabeth to my family,
yes.
So I've always been Liz, certainly the whole of my professional life and even at school.
Yeah.
So I've been Liz for quite a long time. I wouldn't know or not if that made me particularly sexy.
Really?
You'd have to ask the boys.
Well, don't ask them those sort of questions. It's only encouraging them. Thank you. Can you do some Danish? Go on, look.
Something Danish?
Yeah.
Like, if you took me out for dinner,
yes,
I might say to you, and you paid the bill.
Yes.
I might say to you afterwards, James, tuck for Mel.
Really? Wow. Then we go upstairs, do we?
No.
Right.
This one book?
Oh,
just the one?
It was so difficult, because I'm into all sorts of things.
No, doesn't matter. It's only one.
Love autobiographies.
I only have one.
Time travel and stuff like this. I settled on something which you might find a bit surprising.
Okay.
It's called The Wolf of Masada, and it's by John Fredman.
And in a nutshell, why? Why should we all go and get that book?
Because it's a sort of a Roman novel, if you like. So it's Roman history, but it's based on fact. It's very interesting. You can empathise with it, with the emotion, with the struggles. It shows that in some ways nothing has changed. You know, it's about this guy and all he encompasses throughout his life.
Puts my Gruffalo to shame, that does really, doesn't it?
You have got the football on at Gresty Road tonight. 7:30 kick-off between Crewe Alexandra and Accrington Stanley. So in addition to the extra traffic expected as you head towards the ground, obviously be mindful of these restrictions and these roadworks and perhaps allow a little bit of extra time to get there. And if you see a problem, call us on 01782 208 008.
Remember the ad for milk with the Accrington Stanley? Do you remember that?
Accrington Stanley? Who are they?
I know.
Travel you can trust.
I'm sitting here in the Nottingham Traffic Control Centre. I can see the cameras on Gregory Boulevard. We're just looking at the police outriders coming along. I can see the vehicles as well, just through the trees as it makes its way along. And what's rather lovely, actually, is that the outriders are slowing rather, and very cleverly, I think, because I couldn't do this. They're stopping to shake hands with some of the crowd. They're waving at the crowd. It looks like it's a really good atmosphere. And certainly the convoy is making its way along.
OK, here's a question for you then. What's Anne Widdecombe famous for?
She was a Conservative MP. And actually, I met her and interviewed her at a previous radio station I worked at during the general elections.
Oh, right. So you know a lot about it then.
She offered me half of her sandwich, which was actually very nice. I was waiting for my sister because we were attempting to get on the monorail and she got pushed out the way and left behind. So I was waiting at the other end of the monorail for her to get the next train. And he came on the train in between and sort of came out after everyone else had disappeared. And you know when I saw him walking towards me, and you know when you kind of clock eyes, and I'm thinking, I know who you are, and he's looking at me thinking, you know who I am. And I didn't say anything. I thought, I'm not going to make a big scene because he's poor bloke, he's going on holiday. So, and as he got nearer, he said, hello, how do you do? And I said, oh, I'm fine, thank you, and how are you? And he said, oh, yes, really good, relaxing and everything. And I said, well, have a nice holiday. And he said, yeah, you too. So we had a nice little conversation. And, well, the thing is, I got very excited, but obviously I didn't, make a scene. And when my sister then eventually came along, I said, you know who I've just met? I was so excited. And she went, who's he?
Deflated you.
Yeah.
There you go. So Brendan Cole, right? Now we know. Liz has a crush on Brendan Cole. We've learnt this about our travel girl Liz today.
Oh, I don't like shopping, and I can't bear inane celebrity gossip.
Right,
it's just a waste of time. And I'm quite interested in current affairs because, see, I've got a BA Honours Politics degree.
There you go. Not just a pretty face.